So then once again, I just want to come in here. And the reason I was pulling that headliner out, well, the headliner was messed up, so I had to redo the headliner anyway. But this is like the worst spot, so I'm going to cut mostly all of this out, piece by piece, and get this all reshaped and reformed in here. Then I got a piece there that I got to weld some metal in there. And then this corner here is really bad, so I got to cut all of this out from on this side to all the way in here and get all of this done. The most of the rest of this is okay. It looked like surface rust right in that area, but I'll put the die grinder on it. If it's a hole, I do what needs to be done. I got to clean all of this up with the die grinder. So those are the three pieces. Then after that, actually, once I get those pieces done, most of the body work is done. I got to do one more piece down there, weld that piece in. Baddest rust on the whole car was around that front windshield and right down in there. So I got most of this lip. I had to redo all of this with new metal. So that's done. I just got to cut and patch that last piece in. And then this car, the 79 Limited, will be ready for paints. All right, so first off, I'm gonna try to get this grinded out. I know I got a hole here and I got a hole here, but I need to see how solid all of this is. And if you see here, I gotta build this lip up through here for that chrome piece to sit on there. It'll probably still sit in there, but this is for rainwater. So if I don't repair this, rain is just gonna get off and up under and cause more water to be getting inside the door here. So this is really just a rain guard. If you think about it, that was kind of ingenious back in the days. I mean, they did this all the time to stop the water, because honestly, back in the day, these cars, they were sealed, but they probably wasn't sealed the best, you know. So I'm talking about from the factory. Now I'm going to come in here and cut this piece out. I want to cut right below this line. Okay. Now that I'm actually in here, I'm looking for the guys. If you run across this problem, that's why you watch this channel. It looked like it's a few holes back here, but I don't think that a spark would get in there. Well, when you're welding it could, but the sparks normally spark out this way, not in that way. So while I'm looking at this, it looked like maybe if you had the headliner in here, I would just have water just in case, but if you catch on fire, you're in trouble. But maybe you could get away with doing this without pulling the headliner out. My headliner, it was nothing on top, no fabric, so, and it was warping, so I'm gonna have to lay that on the floor. Spray it down with water, put some weight on it, let it dry, get formed, and then I'm gonna put a coat of fiberglass over the back side of that. But the way this look, it's like I could have got away, you know, but I don't, you know, I've never been in and did, you know, a 79 like this, so, you know, I wouldn't have wanted to take a chance. But it looked like you might be able to get away with leaving that headliner in there and just being careful with your sparks and how much you heat this up. But there's so much room in between there that you could weld on this without getting your headliner caught on fire. I mean, it could still happen, but if you didn't want to pull the window out, and you just had, but if you going this deep into a project, you just want to take the extra step and probably take that headliner out like I did. So all right, so my next step here is to bring, clean this up and bring the outside lip up and bent up like this, and then I'll patch the hole in. So now I'm gonna clean this up and see how much of this is good and how much of this is left here, and then I'll come in and start on getting that lip together. Okay, anytime before you weld or put a piece of metal on, just like painting, you want to put some bite, so the primers or your welds, you want this all to be, this metal to be cleaned up. Okay, so I come in here and this piece of tape look like, well, it don't look like, it's the same size as the edge here. So I'm gonna put that tape on there, then I'm gonna go over to my vise and I'm gonna bend this piece of metal right on the top of this tape line to get the bend that I need to make this lip come up. So I want to put the top of the vise right at the top of that tape line. And then I just want to all right, so after looking at this, it's going to be easier for me to just cut this lip off. All right, so I want to come in here and just show you how I'm gonna do this. So as you doing your piece, you just want to look and see what's best. So I end up figuring out it was best to cut the flat part of the lip here that was here off and just start from there. But here I'm gonna just weld this piece right on to here, and it'll probably be a little bigger than I just grind it down. to be the same length all the way across. But first I'm going to start off and I'm going to tack weld right in that area there to get that hole sealed off. So you got to figure out your plan of how you want to do this. So I'm going to start right in there first, and then I'm gonna I'll come back in and show the steps as I'm doing this. I say a lot of times you just want to do one piece at a time. Okay, now that I got that little corner welded in there, I come in here with the die grinder, and the die grinder is good at just taking this metal down. I'm telling you, this die grinder is one of my favorite tools. So I guess you can see there how I took that down. But I want to start here first. And get this piece tacked in. Okay, now you see this piece is welded in. This might be a little high, but I'll grind this down later. The top of this might be a little high, but it's on there. It's nice and sturdy. Now I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna get this piece in here. I gonna need to be grinded out some here. I want this to be flat all the way across here. All right. Better. So actually, I want to start here. When the chief priests and scribes saw the wonderful things that he did, and the children crying in the temple and saying, I don't know if you could see that when I was in there. I'll come back and edit this. I got to get me a piece of vice grips, a pair of vice grips here. Okay, so I could probably do a little bit more grinding right in here. But what I need to do is go to the other garage and get the trim piece and just grind this down to this. That trim piece snaps back on here right, But I got this all in here now. So now I just gotta sit this piece down in here and grind it down just a little bit more so it'll fit exactly where it needs to fit in there, and then just weld this piece in. So what I'll probably do is glue it at the bottom, and it's like a panel bond. And the newer cars, the quarters and different stuff like that, they glued on with this panel bond. So I put the panel bond in, and I use my clamps here to clamp it down. 1, 2, 3 probably. And then once I get that clamped down there, I could probably use my cutting wheel and just cut across the top of this instead of grinding, and then weld that in after I let this sit a few hours with that panel bond on there. Okay, then I come in here, and the piece that I'm gonna put on the body of the car there, I put the weld-through primer on there so the back side of that won't rust again. Okay, so all I did was mix me some of this panel bond up. Oh, real quick. Can't have no you can't have no you can't have no kind of paint or this weld-through primer. Okay, so all I did was mix me some of this panel bond up. Oh, real quick. Can't have no you can't have no you can't have no kind of paint or this weld-through primer on that. So you can't have no weld-through primer or anything on that surface. So now I can just come through. You don't want it too thick either. But I'm gonna squeeze this into these areas so any pinholes that's in here, they will be sealed up. So that's that's all sealed up in there now. Then I could come through with this. Lay it down in there exactly where I want it. Come through, clamp this down. Clamp this side down. It's right in there. I could get one more and clamp it right in the middle there. But after that panel glue hardens, there, I could come through and weld in the rest of that. And then that piece will be done. Okay, so here I glued this in yesterday. It takes this stuff 24 hours to cure completely. So I want it to be nice and hard. So now look, I put this in. I always leave this. Okay, the end here, and I don't know if you can see the end there, is probably almost out of camera. But those lines are cut perfect. This here, I leave this a little higher. And then I just come through with my cutting wheel and just cut this right off of here. See if I can get in here without the camera. Alright, so now I got this cut. So what I'll do here is just kind of low on this end. This end is pretty flush, so what I'm going to do is just tack right where this starts to dip, and then I'll take a screwdriver and pry this out some. Okay, so now that piece is all in there. I just got to put a little body filler on there. Test fit trim piece, a few tacks here and there, but I will be going over this with the seam sealer, like I said, for little pinholes, but I will get these little pinholes here tacked in. This one there. I'll tack them in and grind them down again. Look like it's a little one here. But I always go over it. With the seam sealer, then sand it down, and then I put the mud over that. Alright, so always better to test fit your panel first. Like I said, I put the body molding on here, the rain guard. It covers that up, make that look good. So that's on there, it fits. It's good. So now I just gotta finish this up now. So one piece at a time, guys. I know you keep hearing me say that, but when you're doing these pieces, it's just one piece at a time. All right, now come in here. Just wanted to show you how all of this turned out. So that's that piece there that I welded in. I come through, prime this, hit it a couple of times. I used the trim here to make sure that all of that is sitting in there just right. Come out pretty good, guys. One piece at a time. The lip here, just fine. Come out good. I put the piece of chrome on there. You've seen that already. It's fine. Like I said, I use this. Put these on here to make sure that this is gonna line up. You know, make sure this is filled in enough around here, and this corner probably, the way they had this, since they had a top on it, and I'm not putting a top on this, I don't know, probably sell it without a top. And honestly, if You putting the top on here, I would honestly have that top come across and stop right in here. You know, like if I was back in the day we used to put rag tops on these. I don't even know if anybody do them. I think it's a guy here in Racine, First Rate. He used to do them. He would probably still do them. He's still living. But I would come across here. I wouldn't bring the top all the way down like they had it on here. That's why none of this was really done too well up in this area. And the other side looks the same way as that. All right, so we got this piece on here. It's on there. This is all did good, so it came out good here. Remove this, all in there. Remember, all of that was rotted. This is popped on there, so, but it turned out good. So just wanted to show you guys that.